Ahi, ahi. Laissez le bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. It's party time has arrived, everybody. I said party time has arrived, everybody. Why aren't you doing anything? Huh? Go on, say something. Quit standing there staring at the camera.
Sorry. I had to get my hair all, ready to go live. It's very important to look good on camera.
That's right, Dave. So how do you look?
I don't know. I feel like I have double vision. So, hey everybody. Oh, that was a nose. I'm like, what was what? So, there's a bunch of stuff to talk about today. The first thing here is Ecamm Live just came out with a new update, which, as you can see, includes chroma keying or green screen. So now we go live to
Legoland!
Yay!
We're in Legoland!
Hi, I'm in Legoland. That's a Wayne's World reference, if you don't know. And this is pretty cool. I'm probably not going to use it like a virtual set like this very often, but, new toy.
Yeah, gotta play with it.
Whoa, family friendly. Come on now. So the thing that's cool about it is that it lets me have a virtual set if I want to. The thing that's kind of a bummer is you usually see behind us, which is pretty much the same color. I actually painted the wall that color, which meant I had to go out to the paint store and buy the paint and then put it on the wall, and it's an apartment, so I'm gonna have to paint over it later. If this had been available, I'd just do this and I wouldn't have to paint the wall. That would save me a lot of money.
And time.
Yeah, the only problem is, one is it's not quite perfect here. But the only problem is it ends up looking a little fake. But this doesn't look too bad. So I just had to find the logo that's usually back here, usually printed. Usually printed, but it's now, I can size it. The reason why it's so small in camera is because it's limited to the size of paper that I can send to the printer. So it's as big as it can be printed, and that's nice and large. And the other thing that's cool about it is you can blur it, except it overdoes it. So today,
we have blurred the identity of these two people to protect them.
yes. Unfortunately, we're a day late, but it's a lot closer to Mardi Gras than our previous broadcast. And
yesterday actually was Fat Tuesday, so happy Mardi Gras, everybody.
Hope you enjoyed it. Today is Ash Wednesday, so you better be good because it's the beginning of Lent. And first thing up, besides the Ecamm Live stuff, which is pretty cool. If you're more interested in that, go to their website. There's a lot of other exciting updates, such as you heard the theme music. I used to have to put the output of the computer into the mixing board and back and all this crazy stuff. Now it actually just routes the audio from the computer into the live stream, which makes it so much easier.
Cool.
And just better. But Stella, calm down. So the first announcement is, is we are going to finally have our first ever Dave and Brian meetup on March 28th. This is kind of a... Yeah, I am streaming. Okay. Kind of a test run for later meetups, including the one we're going to have during Halloween Horror Nights. We haven't decided exactly when. That's going to be based on the schedule of people who want to come. But already one person said that they are going to come, and free donuts, apparently. So that's cool.
Your announcement has 2 comments. One person wants to buy Voodoo Doughnut, and another person said, hey, that's pretty cool. I forget their exact quote, but people seem to be looking forward to it.
So it's a little bit more for us to kind of practice, but Obviously, we like for people to come. Just like I'm looking at the chat room, looking for people to come. And so the time is going to be probably 6:30 p.m. because if you missed it on my OrlanDave channel, or if you forgot, whatever, it's going to be 6:30 because at 6 o'clock, I believe during Mardi Gras as well, the parking and the parking garage is free. So, give you a little bit of walk time. It's not that far, but so again, 6:30 on March 28th, we're going to be doing our first meetup. We're probably going to do at least one more before then. And I don't think it'll ever get large enough for me to like rent out a venue or even like a part of a venue. Like in Orlando Informer is huge. They have such a giant meetup. It's not going to be anything like that, but we'll see. It's just you got to start somewhere and take it from there.
Oh, mention where in City Walk.
It's going to be probably there's a large Coke bottle when you first walk in. It's not really a Coke. It looks like a Coke bottle. It's got a screen. They're playing some crappy music video on it. There's some seating around there. We're not 100% sure, but that's probably where it's going to be.
Yeah. Just
so it's not in a restaurant. So I didn't want to do that because I don't want a whole bunch of people sitting around in a restaurant not ordering. Or the other side of it, really more so. Oh, hey, Brandy. Yeah, we are doing one for Halloween Horror Nights. This is a test run.
Yeah.
So that when Halloween Horror Nights comes, we have a better idea of what we're doing because neither one of us have ever put on a meetup. So. But
it's if you've never been to City Walk, you park, go through those moving walkways, keep going straight through, past the movie theater, past Starbucks, and just walk straight, and you'll run right into this. Coca-Cola refresh place.
And the other reason why I didn't want to do it in a restaurant is I didn't want to make people feel like they have to buy food at the restaurant. Like, what if they don't have the money, or we choose a restaurant and they don't like the food there? We don't want to pressure anyone into like, oh, I should buy a drink or something. So if you're in City Walk, you can go and get some fast food or bring it, or just hang out or whatever. And so it's still as a post-it note under my camera. I was looking down there. I just did a video for OrlanDave for that. So, and again, we'll probably do another one before then. What do you have here?
Well, it's Mardi Gras time. It's carnival time.
Yep.
I wanted to talk about some Mardi Gras trivia. Kind of some basic facts, but maybe stuff you don't know. And if you're interested, you can do your own research. So, if you go to Mardi Gras, and I'm talking about in New Orleans, you will hear the word "Laissez le bon temps rouler," means let the good times roll. If you go to Mardi Gras here in Universal, at the very, very, very start of the parade, you'll hear "Mes amis, laissez le bon temps rouler. Ahi, let the good times roll. My friends, party time has arrived." Is that right?
It's kind of right.
Okay. It's a lot to remember, and I haven't heard as much.
Not that much.
Haven't heard much of this guy, but "Laissez le bon temps rouler" means let the good times roll. It is the Mardi Gras greeting. It's kind of like saying Happy Halloween, Happy Holidays, Happy Easter, whatever. Mardi Gras. The words Mardi Gras mean Fat Tuesday. It is actually against the law to not wear a mask or have your face painted and be on a float during Mardi Gras in Louisiana. It is illegal, hence the lyric from the Beastie Boys.
Got arrested down in Mardi Gras for jumping on the float.
Yes, because he jumped on the float, wasn't wearing a mask, click, click.
I think the problem is more that the float was moving and he jumped on it, because that's not smart.
Yeah, but then they could have gotten in with, well, you weren't wearing a mask, so therefore...
Maybe. Although, Brian, did you know where the Mardi Gras parade started, at least in the United States? What state and what city?
It is not in Louisiana.
Nope.
It is not in New Orleans. I got it backwards. It is not in New Orleans. It was not in Louisiana. Where was it, Dave?
Mobile, Alabama. Oh my gosh, Mobile, Alabama.
Now, do you know why?
Because Alabama getaway.
So I was looking this up earlier. In 1699, some French explorers were in what is now Mobile, Alabama. And they realized it was a significant part of the year, and the lead explorer named it Point de la Mardi Gras. So Point of Mardi Gras, Point of Fat Tuesday. Because of that, I think they have some tie-ins with Louisiana, and therefore, but that's where the parade started in the United States. Mardi Gras dates back in New Orleans further than that, but they didn't always have a parade. The parades have been going since 1856.
Every day.
Well, every year. But when Mardi Gras comes around, it goes on for weeks.
Yeah.
Like, yesterday was Fat Tuesday. They've been having parades for like 2 weeks already.
Not as long as we have.
No, but yeah. When you start seeing king cake, it means carnival time has arrived. It's kind of like seeing ornaments in stores. It means Christmas time is here. But if you start seeing king cake, it's getting close to Mardi Gras, carnival season's here. Now, if you buy a king cake and you find a little toy baby in your king cake, yeah, that's what you start doing because it is your prize. And your prize is you have to bake a king cake next year for Mardi Gras.
If you don't swallow and choke on it and die.
Yeah.
Which is why when you buy a king cake, the ones I bought at Publix, for the second year in a row, because in our department, we handle the parade. There's at least three main departments. It's obviously entertainment. They're the ones who really run the parade. And then our department is the ones who actually go alongside the floats, which is unique because the Christmas parade and the Superstar parade, those are floats that are driven, they're not towed, so we don't do that. And we also try to keep the people from running out in the streets to grab the beads and possibly getting injured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For cheap beads. But we forgot where we were going.
Oh, well, the colors of Mardi Gras are green, gold, and purple. And they all have different significance. And the last one was that the parade actually started in Alabama. But that's all. It's just Mardi Gras is a pretty fun time of year. What?
So I thought you were going to help me figure out where I was going. For the second year in a row, I went to Publix. Actually, I think I went to Whole Foods last year and bought king cake for all the people who are working the parade that day.
Oh, cool.
And they have the little baby outside the cake specifically so people don't swallow it, those who aren't aware that there would be a plastic baby baked into a cake.
Yeah.
And I went to go to Publix today to buy some more, another cake, and it's already gone.
Oh.
The expiration date was yesterday, so they really pushed it to the very last day. So, bummer.
Yeah.
But we're going to try something else that's not traditional, but it is Mardi Gras related.
Okay.
In a little bit.
Cool.
So, bummer of yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before. One of the things that I do besides ads for helping me buy more YouTube gear is I also I'm an Amazon. Wow, what's wrong with me today? Amazon associate, and I also have a Patreon account. And one of my largest supporters decided to stop supporting me because he said that he doesn't feel like he has enough direct contact with me. I'm not sure what that means, but quite upset about that. So,
I was gonna say maybe it's a little bit too much financial strain, but
the thing is,
is it Jay or is it
no? Who's Jay?
Well, there's Jay and there's Duchess are your main patrons.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that I put up a video recently that actually a few months ago asking for feedback, like what else should I be doing? What else would you like me to see? And I didn't hear anything about. I want to have more communication with the creator.
No,
and the thing is, he put up a post on Patreon, and I swear I remember replying to it. And then I went back to look at it, and the reply wasn't there. I don't know what happened. And I think he got all mad because of that and left.
Maybe that's what he means.
But I mean, that's the only time he ever posted something. And it would be nice if he had mentioned before when I asked, "Hey, what else should I be doing that I'm not doing?" That could, if he brought it up then give me some helpful feedback. Like what exactly I'm not doing right. But
well, I'm sorry you lost the Patreon. I'm sorry that happened. It's tough trying to figure out what people want.
I also don't understand because I remember specifically sitting there and typing that message out saying that because he said he was coming to Florida at the end of March, and I was like, oh, cool, because we're doing a meetup at the end of March, so he'll be here for that.
Yeah.
And then about like, I know I sent that. I remember sending that message. What happened to it? I don't know.
I mean, do you have to click view reply or something like that, or?
No, that'd be dumb.
Well, I mean, sometimes that happens on YouTube. Like if you look at the YouTube comments, the original comment that says view replies.
No, it just wasn't there. So I sent it again. I don't know, but he probably is not going to look at it, which is a bummer.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he'll change his mind. You never know.
I don't know. But I don't know what else I should do to offer for that. I know it's kind of lame. Because he's saying he wants more than just his name at the beginning of the video. I'm like, well, then, give me suggestions.
Maybe he's thinking it's your job to have the suggestions. I don't know.
The problem is I don't want to add things as tiers and benefits based on what I want.
Yeah.
It should be based on what the people who want to support me on Patreon want. So, I'd rather hear what people are looking for so I can give them what they want, not what I want.
I agree with you.
That's why I asked.
If I were running a Patreon, I'd want to know, hey, what do you guys want? What would be cool for you?
Yeah.
I mean, I could say, okay, you get this and you get this and you get this, and then if you don't like that, too bad.
And what if you were one of my viewers and it's like, hey, you get into I can get you into 3 country music concerts a year, and you'll be like,
that doesn't work for me.
Yeah, but what if I was my big thing I love, and that would be you're like, well, I like to support you, but I don't want that. So you get the idea.
Yeah.
Also, the future of this show is a little shaky too. Because I've been working so much, as you know, this is the first show we've had in a while. And I had several different opportunities to work for freelance and for my main job today. But I already put out the notices for the live stream. I'm like, I don't want to cancel it after I put it up on all these different platforms.
Yeah.
But, and honestly, it doesn't get a whole lot of views. So I've been trying to build it up to better show that people will want to stream, and I really appreciate Brandy and all the people who are always watching. And I know Duchess tries to, but
it's late for her.
But the same thing. I'm not the only one with the schedule, so
yeah.
It's difficult for anybody to do something when it's at a fixed time.
Yeah.
So it might go back. It really was getting a lot more views on the OrlanDave channel, but I was trying to increase subscriptions and watch time on Roddy Paws because it was below that 1,000, and I really wanted to get monetization back. And I kind of wanted to branch out into other topics and things like that. So it's possible it will go back to OrlanDave and just focus on theme park stuff, because we do have that whole section for theme park announcements, and we talk about Mardi Gras and stuff like that. And maybe it'd be better to just focus on OrlanDave topics and have it there. So that could be a thing. And
what do you guys think? Go ahead. If you're not watching now, go ahead and leave a comment. What works better?
And maybe we should try more new segments to see how they work. I really don't know how it's going to be received until we try it.
Yeah.
Also, there's a possibility that we can do like a hybrid where a week that I can't be live, maybe we would pre-record it and then stream it as a premiere, or just post it as a on demand, and then we'd go live when we can.
Yeah.
That's an option. Again, let us know what you feel about that. Or it might just end because it just might end as a failed experiment.
Well, I don't think we ought to completely give up. I like the idea of pre-recording because we can do it on our time when we need to, and you can schedule it to put up whenever you like. So
the problem is that my schedule and your schedule don't meet up very often either.
We've got Wednesdays. Wednesdays are a good shared day. Now, had you picked up freelance, it wouldn't have been.
Yeah. The thing is that Wednesday's my day off mostly because there's a lot of shows that happen on Wednesdays. So
yeah. But what we could do is, I don't know, record at night sometime when we were both here. Or,
we'll see. Just it doesn't look like we have much chat in the chat room, but if you're watching on demand, let me know what your thoughts are of the future. Would you want to see it stay here? Would you like to expand in different topics? What topics? And if you're like, hey, you want to bring it back to this theme parks, back on OrlanDave, because there's a lot of things that I'd like to that are theme park related that I don't necessarily want to go out and shoot a video for, and like there's that one thing that wouldn't be much of a video, but I can mention it on the show, or I can try to work with this Ecamm Live. And one of the things I wanted to do from the beginning was show video, because if I shoot a video, there's sometimes some clips that are really good, but they don't really fit into the movie the video, very much like deleted scenes in a movie. Like they're great scenes, they're well shot and everything, they just throw off the flow of the movie. So a lot of times they're cut, but you watch the extras because they're otherwise great, but you watch the extras, and especially with things like Kevin Smith movies, I find that the things he cuts out of the movies, when you go back and watch them, you're like, yeah, they're good, but it definitely shouldn't be in the movie. But it's cool to see. Yeah. So things like that. So moving on to what I was kind of talking about, which is Volcano Bay. I'm finally going to make that the first-time visitor's guide I've been talking about for almost 2 years. And
why don't you put up on May 25th the opening date of Volcano Bay?
Well, I'd like to make it sooner.
Okay.
So my questions to you, and I'm having putting another video up, but figured ask the Roddy Paws audience if some of them are, for those of you who don't overlap. Have you visited Volcano Bay, and are you planning to visit? And do you have any questions or tips or things that you wish you knew before you went or you want to know before you go? So if you have any questions or comments, I guess post them when it's on demand.
Now, I was talking with a team member who mentioned that he took his family to Volcano Bay, and I think his brother found the virtual queue kind of confusing, which I don't understand. You put your
Tapu tapu.
Yeah, you tapu tapu to it, and it says see you in 30 minutes, and you go do something else and come back in 30 minutes. And it even keeps the time for you. Yeah. So you don't need to be like, oh, has it been 20 minutes? Oh, it's right there. So I think it is getting used to because it's not traditional attraction queues. Where you wait in line and you look at all the stuff and then you get on the ride. This is you get in line, you do whatever you like, and you can go sit down, you can go swim, you can go in the lazy river, whatever you want to do.
And the thing that people don't really quite understand is that they say, well, you mean I can't do anything until this time is up?
No.
And it's like, okay, imagine you're at any other park, including Universal Studios, and you're a Brian, for example, and like, I want to go on the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. And it's one of those typical days where it's
60.
About an hour wait.
Yeah.
If you're in a regular park like that, you get into an actual line instead of a virtual line. You're standing in that line for 60 minutes
or more,
or if that's the time.
Yeah.
And sure, you got your phone to look at, but that's it. You're standing in line. Now, the virtual line is like standing in line.
Except you're not.
But you can go eat. You can go look at merchandise. You can go on a ride now and not lose your line. You can you can do all these other things that you can't do at a regular. So you have more freedom, but people seem to think that they're like, oh, why can't I go now?
I think it's a new concept, and waiting in line is easy because like you've known that all your life.
Yeah.
Now, traditional parks have little tricks to their queues to keep it interesting. They put you in a little area, then you go around a bend, and so there's not visually overwhelming. And there's things to look at and things to listen to, and
but still you're stuck in that line.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you like about the virtual line is you can sit that whole time if you want to.
Yes, you can. You sure can.
And you can actually, if you rent a cabana, you can tap in your cabana and cabana your day away.
Yeah.
And then get up and go to the ride. You don't even have to go to the ride to tap in.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So now,
just talk about all that during your.
Well, yeah, but so basically the video is going to be, if you've never been to Volcano Bay, things that you're going to want to know before you go.
Yeah.
So now we go to our Tool album update.
Tool.
Nothing.
Hooray! Woohoo!
And now for a return of an old favorite. I guess, I don't know if it's a favorite or not, but something I've been meaning to do for a long time is to make actual transitions and videos and audio and stuff. Oh, what's my favorite Volcano Bay food? I still kind of like the pulled pork sandwich with the ring of pineapple on it.
That sounds good.
It is really good. I actually tried it in one of our team member grills before Volcano Bay opened, and it's a really nice, tasty bun, and it comes with some sort of slaw. I forget what. I've never gotten it with it. It comes with maybe one or two other things that I usually don't order, and fries. The fries at Volcano Bay are really good too. The shake looks really good. I don't think it's very good, but that's always been my favorite.
don't have that much experience with Volcano Bay food, but I did get the mac and cheese, right?
Yeah, the spicy shrimp mac and cheese.
Oh, that's right. Yes, the spicy shrimp. I'm
I
not
think
big.
it's jerk.
Yes,
jerk
yeah,
shrimp.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not big on seafood, but I kind of like shrimp. They're okay. And I don't. I can do hot food. I can do spicy. I don't like it super crazy. It gets too bitter.
Yeah.
But the jerk mac and cheese was like a really good level.
I don't think it gets bitter if it's just too hot. You probably just had bad hot.
Well, there's the heat. Well, yeah, I've tried some of those crazy hot sauces with the ghost peppers and the Carolina Reapers and the whatnot. There's heat, and then there's like you taste the sauce, and they tend to taste bitter. So I don't know if it was bad hot. It's kind of the nature of hot sauce. It just starts getting bitter. Even like a Frank's hot sauce is kind of bitter.
Oh, well then, why don't you put yourself on the hot sauce committee?
Okay.
I think hot sauce committee part 1 is already finished. So you're just gonna have to join hot sauce committee part 2.
Yeah.
So, one of our segments we haven't done in a while because I haven't brought anything in is Dave and Brian are trying.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
So,
Woo. Voodoo Doughnut.
what's this?
I don't know. It's king cake, Dave.
No, it isn't.
No?
It's the Mardi Gras donut from Voodoo Doughnut.
Oh.
And notice it's Voodoo Doughnut. There's no S. See? Voodoo Doughnut.
Oh.
Why? I don't know. It just that's what it is.
Because you only get one. That's all you get.
Well, there are ones that are I don't know why my buttons aren't working. That are about this big.
Yeah.
So one is like 3. I guess I should have bought some plates. This might get messy. So
Why don't you go ahead and try, and I'll talk while you try.
well, I've already tried it. You have to try it.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will try, and you talk while I try.
And this, again, is the special donut for Mardi Gras, which was gone for a few weeks because they said they ran out of sprinkles. But it is the Mardi Gras donut. It's based on one of the, I'm forgetting the name, traditional Louisiana cuisine. And it's basically a cream-filled donut with the festive sprinkles of course, green, purple, and yellow. It's either yellow or gold, it depends, but it's a beignet. That's what it's based on. And,
What is the filling?
I forget what it's called.
It's kind of toffee.
It's a cream, but it's not like your traditional cream-filled donut. But I think it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had some cream-filled donuts from other companies that are on property, and these are much better. So that's available. I don't know if they're special. I think it's just their colors, because they're Mardi Gras colors, and they probably don't have these specific colors in stock. Normally, there's another like little sprinkle on here that. But I think it was just the fact that they don't. It's a little round sprinkle.
Yeah. I have one too.
As I just dropped it on the floor and now being eaten by the dog. Great.
I actually kind of like the powdered side more than the sprinkled side, personally.
I kind of like both. Obviously, the powdered, the frosting, the icing is really good too.
Yeah.
So, I bought this the first night of Mardi Gras, and I went back to get it like the second week, and like I said, they were gone. So,
It's probably a big seller right now too, as well.
yeah.
By the way, thank you, Dave.
You're welcome. So, if you enjoy Dave and Brian are trying, this week is more of a Brian is trying because Dave's already had them twice because Dave likes. But sometimes I forget to go out and buy something that we haven't tried yet.
Yeah.
I was going to bring the king cake, but like I said, couldn't get it anymore at that store. So,
But I like the toffee filling, or at least it tastes like toffee. But this is a good donut, and the donut itself is nice and fluffy. So Voodoo Donuts are very good.
yes.
Like sometimes you'll get a donut and it's not that fluffy, and you bite into it and it kind of just crumbles all over the place.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be in LA in July, but I'm not going to, or the greater LA area or something like that. Really, it's Anaheim, but I'm going to flying into LAX. But I don't think I'm going to have time to go to Universal Hollywood because I would like to go to their Voodoo Doughnut, which of course has been around a lot longer, and try their local variety.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to work. Now, depending on how well how much value I get out of VidCon, it's going to determine if I want to try to do it again next year.
Mm-hmm. I hope it goes well for you. I hope you get to learn some cool stuff, and it'll help you out with your channels. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, it might be very helpful, but it's also very expensive.
Well, that's why I'm hoping that
Yeah.
you're actually going to learn something because you've
Right.
paid a lot of money. I hope it's not like, here, pay money that we paid you to come party, woohoo.
Yeah, but I'm saying that even if it's worth the amount of money to go once, it has to be worth a lot to go the second time.
Mm-hmm.
But if I do go next year, I'm probably going to try to add another day and make sure to go to Universal as well. The main reason why I'm going to Disney over Universal there is because Disney is a mile away from the hotel room. Universal is at least an hour each way.
Yeah.
And when I don't have much time to begin with, as you know, when you visit Universal or any theme park, you barely have enough time to sleep.
Yeah.
So,
Now, Universal Hollywood does have things that Orlando does not, so it would be
Not
worth
much.
going. No, there's a good amount. I looked up the attractions list, and there's things that we don't have. Now we've got things that they don't have, so that's the other side of it.
well, Fast and Furious was one of those things that they did have that they had what we didn't. They had Transformers first and a few other things that we now have.
But they've got the DreamWorks attraction. They've got a zone we don't have. They've got the Walking Dead experience. Now, as worn out as I got on Walking Dead during Horror Nights, I'd still like to go in there, and at least see.
So we've now come to park announcements, theme park announcements. The Today Cafe will be replacing the Beverly Hills Boulangerie,
Oh, okay,
which is
cool.
something that I knew, that, we kind of knew about, but we didn't have official confirmation, so haven't been talking about it. But it has been released.
Yeah, this is
And
official now.
It looks like it's a little cliche, but it looks like the inside of a television studio.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like an on-air sign and lighting that looks like studio lighting and stuff like that. The Beverly Hills Boulangerie was definitely in need of a upgrade. It was a little dated and wasn't the prettiest part of the park, but the food is great. It just I thought they would do a little remodeling, but they are completely retheming it now. Unfortunately, the Today Show is shot in New York, and this is going to be in the Hollywood section.
Yeah, but
The what would make the most sense, kind of, would be to have the Today Cafe be where the Tonight Shop is, which is part of Race to New York starring Jimmy Fallon. Even though it's not part of that attraction, the facade for Race to New York is 30 Rock, and the gift shop is themed after where the Today Show is actually shot in the real building in New York City. But then there'd be no room for a gift shop, so it wouldn't kind of work. It would kind of work, but that's where they're not going to put. That's not where they're going to put it, though.
They could have put it where that tribute store is, but then we lose the tribute store, so.
Well, no, they couldn't put it where the tribute store is.
They could. I mean, really, what ends up being the tribute store during Horror Nights is the super extended queue for the Mummy.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Mummy almost ever gets to that kind of queue.
But it does.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because I didn't even know that room existed. Really. So.
You probably don't go on peak times.
Maybe so.
But it does get used.
So
like that super extended queue that they used for Mardi Gras and for Halloween Horror Nights, when they put the bar in, there are times of the year where that gets used.
Okay.
It's just not all the time.
All right.
Obviously not during Mardi Gras and Halloween Horror Nights, otherwise they wouldn't be using that for a bar. They'd be using it for the extended queue. But when we were at high part of the season around Thanksgiving, every day that queue would fill all the way out to that extended part outdoors. And I'm like, wow.
That's impressive.
That really gets used. What isn't used is that super crazy extended queue for Spider-Man. Even when it gets pretty backed up, that queue just goes forever.
Yeah. Now, Phenomenal Brandy asks, is the Backlot Tour in Hollywood the main attraction? I think it's one of them.
Tour in Hollywood. Oh, yeah, probably.
For Universal Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's something Orlando does not have. They did in the very, very beginning.
But we don't have movies here like we were supposed to. So that is something, when I go to Universal Hollywood, is something I definitely want to do. What I'm planning on doing is going to their Haunted Mansion. And if I have to wait in line for 2 hours to do that, then I'm going to wait in line for 2 hours. Because there's not a whole lot where like, oh, gotta do it. That's really one of the biggest things on my list. Just because I want to go to the elevator room, that's an actual elevator room instead of a ceiling that stretches upwards because not in Orlando, but in Walt Disney World, the stretching room isn't necessary. In Disneyland,
it is.
It's part of the attraction because you actually go down and underneath. But to be consistent, they just put it in the one in Florida, but you don't actually go anywhere.
Oh, and Anaheim has the Hatbox Ghost, which is some legendary. It's still crazy that particular ghost got so legendary.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have the Hatbox Ghost, and that's cool. So that's another good reason to go.
Yep. And if I was able to go during Halloween time, Nightmare Before Christmas is something they do there, but not here.
Yeah.
So getting back to the Today Show Cafe, the Today Cafe, it is going to include coffee like they had before and baked goods. So it's a little bit like a Starbucks, but not really in a sense. It will replace the Beverly Hills Boulangerie as a bakery, but it would be more themed to Today's Show. And it doesn't seem like there's be two sides to it. Like the Boulangerie had two separate lines and two separate cases that you rarely ever saw them using both sides at the same time. But for now, we have Schwab's Pharmacy, which is not open very often. It's open a little bit more often, which, as I mentioned a while back, now has Dole Whip, which used to only be, I think it was, I don't know if it was exclusive to Disney, but it was more commonly found there. You can't get the Dole Whip floats yet, but all I have to do is get some concentrated pineapple juice and put it in with the sorbet, and it's pretty easy for them to do. So I don't know if they're going to do that.
I think they're waiting to see if the Dole Whip kind of takes off.
Yeah.
And then see if it'll be worth it.
If it's not like a new machine that I have to put in or something like that, it's just adding juice. Also, fuel rods are now at Universal. The Go Pucks are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a cylinder-shaped battery for your phone that comes with a micro USB, USB-C, and Lightning for iOS devices. It is $30 to purchase. And then, unlike Disney, if you want to drop it in the machine and get a fully charged one, it's an extra $3.
Yeah. Now,
the interesting thing about this is it comes with USB-C, which means that technically, I haven't tried it, but technically you should be able to recharge a modern GoPro camera because it uses that. That's the kind of connection that it uses. So if your cell phone's okay, but your GoPro isn't. So it is in Universal Studios outside of the Palace Arcade. I think it's, if you remember, like the 1 month we had free recharge stations at Universal for phones that was sponsored by Coca-Cola but didn't last very long. I believe it's the same place as those were, which is outside of the arcade in the New York area, the Men in Black Gear Shop, which is next to the photo pickup counter, in Islands Adventure, a Marvel Superhero Island, because that's where he works, outside the comic book shop in Jurassic Park, near the Jurassic Park Outfitters, which is actually next to the restrooms, and City Walk in the hallway next to Guest Services, which is right around the escalators, which will be easier to find if you're not sure where that is. And did you know that a powerful dark art spell has been cast on the Wizarding World of Harry Potter?
Yes, I did, Dave.
The nighttime lights at Hogwarts Castle is going to be replaced by a new show. It's just going to be starting at Universal Hollywood very soon. And then the Orlando date hasn't been announced, but it's going to be announced, I think, in spring maybe, or it might not be. I'm not sure. It's going to be announced in the future. So I'm not sure if they're going to see how well it's received in Hollywood, but it is already announced that we are going to be getting it. We just don't know exactly when.
Mm-hmm. But that's cool. I do like how they're keeping variety with the nighttime show because, you know, if you've seen the current show like a few times, then you've pretty much got it.
Yeah.
But the fact that they change it a few times a year or, you know, every now and then is good.
They have two right now. One is the Nighttime Lights at Hogwarts Castle, and the other one is the Magic of Christmas at Hogwarts Castle.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a third one, which I believe, actually, I don't know if they've specifically announced, so I just want to be careful. I don't remember if it was specifically announced that it's replacing the Nighttime Lights, but it is a new show that is coming. So
cool.
Also, I believe Brandy was the one who asked if there was pizza fries at Universal during Mardi Gras, and we said no. There is.
Oh.
But you have to use the mobile app to order ahead of time. It's the mobile app express pickup, which is new this year at the concert yard. I think it's on concert nights.
Yeah.
But I believe you can pick up other places as well. But at least on concert nights, you can use the mobile app to order, and that is the only way you can get pizza fries during Mardi Gras, unlike during Halloween Horror Nights, and they might have the express pickup during Halloween Horror Nights as well. But as of last year, it was at the Kid Zone Pizza Company, Woody Woodpecker's Kid Zone Pizza Company. That's where you can get the pizza fries.
Which is only open during Horror Nights.
Yeah. So that's an update. Was incorrect because I didn't realize that until very recently.
But that's a cool trick. It's a good way to get people into using the mobile app because, hey, you want some pizza fries? Gotta get this.
Yep. And I wish that the mobile ordering app worked for 3 broomsticks. That's the one place that I would use it for because that line kind of gets long, and it would be really cool to be like, I already ordered it, and pick it up at the window or whatever. It might be kind of tricky because you have the way it's laid out is not it's kind of, you have to go through the line, and maybe that's the problem, or it could be something with J.K. Rowling. I don't know. It's also new, so maybe they just didn't want to put it in everything right away.
Yeah. Well, they also like the immersion of the wizarding world, so using a Muggle device to order your magical food.
Could be.
Yeah.
These are all theories. All I can say for sure is you can't right now.
Yeah.
So, over at Disney, they announced the first of its kind play pavilion. This is for Epcot. The entrance for Epcot, people, I guess, don't like how it is. It hasn't been updated in a long time. Well, it's about to get updated because Disney is putting crazy amounts of money into their parks to revitalize them. I don't think that's because Universal is growing like crazy. I think it's just theme parks in general are experiencing a great new boom, and growth is just amazing. Like, all of the parks are getting new stuff.
I will say the East Coast parks kind of do that. Universal does something innovative, Disney does something innovative, and then Universal does it. So I always kind of see it as a friendly competition. Yes, Disney is direct competition to Universal, but I don't think both are thriving because of each other, not in spite of each other. When Pandora opened, the Disney executives offered Universal executives to come see it for free, and they didn't have to do that. Did executives make plenty of money to afford a ticket or even an annual pass? So, they could have said, well, you can come check it out, but you got to buy a ticket. No, they said, come on in.
Yep. And when Universal Studios opened in 1990, even though allegedly, there's pretty good amounts of evidence to point that, yes, they did, they stole the ideas for a lot of the ideas and plans and specific details about Universal Studios and opened MGM Studios, which is why MGM Studios, which is now Hollywood Studios, looks so much like Universal Studios, because they had a 2-hour meeting with the head of, I believe it was Paramount Pictures at the time, who ended up being a guy named Michael Eisner, who then went to Disney.
Yeah. And
because Disney had Disney money, they opened their park first. That's something that wouldn't happen now, because there's plenty of money coming in from Comcast and Wizarding World of Harry Potter and other places where they wouldn't have to go out to another company to find financing. But that's what happened. So it is going to transform the entrance to Epcot, and one of the things that's going to change is the Leave Your Legacy will be moved outside of the front gates, which people who like Disney call it the tombstones. I'm like, it's not.
Why is it the tombstones?
That's what they call it.
But why? Is there like
that's what they call it. So and they're going to be changing the fountains, and they're having some interactive entertainment, which could mean anything. It's like when you see ingredients on a package that says natural ingredients. Really doesn't narrow it down at all.
Yeah.
But that's what they're going to be doing, and more details are going to be announced at a later time.
Cool. That's cool news.
Yep. And getting back to Universal, on March 17th, which of course is
St. Patrick's Day.
Now, the interesting thing about Pat O'Brien's is it is based on a establishment in New Orleans. So, it's both Irish and it has ties in with New Orleans.
Yeah.
So, it gets to celebrate Mardi Gras and St. Patrick's Day. And this St. Patrick's Day, guests can celebrate by going to Pat O'Brien's. It's going to be from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock. It'll be free. After 7 p.m., it's $12 per person plus tax. You must be 21 or over with a photo ID. Now, there's going to be a performance by the high energy Celtic band, Celtic rock band, but the name of the band is Off Kilter.
Mm-hmm.
and of course the dueling pianos, which they're famous for. So
Cool.
that'll be coming up pretty soon. I don't know if either one of us have the night off because our schedule hasn't come out yet for that week. But if you're going to be in the area of Universal on St. Patrick's Day, that's something that might be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the rock band Off Kilter, but you know, if you're in the area, it's one of those things. You know, go see the band. You don't like the band,
Yeah.
you leave.
If they're anything like the Dropkick Murphys, you're in for a treat. But they're by far the biggest Celtic band to come out of the Northeast, so you never know. I don't know where Off Kilter is from. Possibly the Northeast, but
I don't know. Probably not because they're probably local, but they might not be.
Yeah.
But so that's coming up, and it wouldn't be a show without Legoland, because they and just going back to what I was saying before, they are growing impressively as well, which is great because you know we said before, far away from everything else, but very close to right here, and that is the Legoland water park reopens on March 9th. And it's going to be their longest season yet, which is going to run all the way to sometime in October. They haven't announced the exact date.
cool.
But that means that the Legoland water park is going to be open more days than they ever have been before. So a lot of that's going on with Legoland is new things. And last year, Brick or Treat had more nights than before. So hopefully it just keeps growing and getting better and getting more people to visit because, like we've said, it's a really great place if you can get to it. And also, I believe it was part of the same announcement, so I think it's in the water park is going to be a new place called the Hideaway Beer Hut, which features a variety of local craft beers from Grove Roots Brewing Company. Now, I have a question for those of you out there who drink beer. Is craft beer, local beer really different? Is it really better, or is it just like a trendy millennial thing? Like, oh, cannot possibly drink this Coors Light. It's got to be local. It's got to get the vibe, you know, man. Or is it just marketing, or is there something to it? Is a craft beer really that much better, or is it just a thing?
Well, I don't drink beer. I particularly like the taste. However, I will think the answer might be something along the lines of someone pointed out if you're being a tourist in a popular city like New York, LA, wherever, Chicago, Seattle, if you are traveling and you're not from there, do not go to the same old restaurants that are in your town. Go try something. Go try some of the local food. Try a little mom and pop shop that you're not going to find in your town. Like especially if you're in New York, try some New York pizza.
You want the best pizza, you got to go to New York.
Don't go to
only Duchess knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but don't go to like a Pizza Hut in New York. No. Go to like Sal's Pizza on like 57th or whatever.
Or Paul's Boutique.
Yeah. So
which doesn't actually exist, but
or maybe it doesn't anymore.
It doesn't. It never did.
Okay. So maybe that's the idea behind a craft beer. It's, a beer you can't get anywhere else.
I know the idea, but I'm asking, is it really better, or is it just a thing that people think is better and people spend money for it and they have it because it's unique, but is it like a Jones soda or like something that's like some of the soda they sell at Aventura, which actually is better. It's more expensive, but
and phenomenal branding got it. Yes, Paul's Boutique is in the Beastie Boys album, and that's my personal favorite Beastie Boys album.
A lot of people, Stella, calm down. A lot of people, not mine though. I still like License to Ill the most, and I put Paul's Boutique at second.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I like it, but I just don't like it as much.
License to Ill is a very timeless album, and if you listen to it, there's nothing but classics on there.
Yeah.
I happen to like Paul's Boutique better, personally.
I like License to Ill, Paul's Boutique, and then Ill Communication.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of it kind of falls off. So I think that's our lists.
And Fenella Brandon's got some good taste in music. She likes Tool. She likes the Beastie Boys. She likes Primus, Nirvana.
She likes our channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Again, I'm not saying it's not good. I just prefer license to Ill a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the they worked with the Dust Brothers on that album. I think the production really just kind of comes through on that.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing that it's an album that would struggle to exist today.
Oh yeah,
because there's so many samples in it, which is cool, but the laws have become a lot more strict about royalties and things like that. Back then, it was still pretty early in the whole sampling age, and the laws, I guess, hadn't really caught up to it yet. Because I know with Pink Floyd's The Wall, part of the broadcasts and background audio you hear in the album is just they turned on the radio and recorded whatever it was, or the TV, and literally just recorded whatever was being broadcast at that point. No thoughts to rights or anything like that. Like, oh, let's record this, and there it is. It's in the album. So when I believe that they had someone ask them, "Oh, what show is this? Where did you get that audio?" And they're like, "Oh, we're really not sure, because we just recorded it and didn't really think about it."
I think what happened is when Ice Ice Baby came out, and it has the bass line from Under Pressure by...
no, it isn't. It's different, Brian.
Yes. Vanilla Ice got sued, and the verdict was anytime you have a sample, no matter what it is, if you alter it or you don't, if you slow it down, speed it up, if you change it here and there,
flip it and reverse it.
You have to claim where it comes from. And Paul's Boutique, if it was released today, the samples list would be like 4 pages long. There's a whole ton in there.
Now, of course, I'm sure that you could do it, but you'd have to have permission from everything.
Yeah.
Now, what would be cool is a band that is like the Beastie Boys that can put something together that's only fair use, or not fair use,
public domain.
Public domain.
Yeah.
Just like old samples of old music and things that have expired. That would be quite a challenge, because it would have to be over a certain age.
But, and it's also tricky because even if it's over the certain age, a company still has to claim it as their copyright. Some things have gone into the public domain, and some things are easily past public domain time, but there's someone still claiming that as their IP. So, that part gets tricky too. But that's a cool idea, like using just public domain samples and stuff like that.
Older recordings,
yeah,
and whatever, and like Apple loops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just like random recordings that they would of this whatever, like the speed racers or the speed some craft. I'm not big on Star Wars, but one of the things that one of the hover bikes or some crap that they have in the movie, they literally took a electric shaver and a bowl and turned on the electric shaver and moved it around the bowl, and recorded it, and then manipulated the audio, and that's how they got the sound of the engines. So
that's cool, and I
so more things like that,
which is a very DIY solution.
But then again, it was the 1970s, and the samples weren't a thing yet, and you couldn't just buy a library and that one looks good, let me just download that.
You kind of had to get creative. Then Phenomenal Brandon says that's the speeder bike sound from Return of the Jedi. So when they're on the planet Endor, I know what she's talking about. Those things. Okay, yeah.
And some people might say, well, that's a shortcut if you just use other people's stuff and put it together and claim it as your own. Like, and it's probably someone who's older and has never tried to do it, because we used to listen to I put together a mix CD when we used to drive up to where we live now for Halloween Horror Nights, and it would be a compilation of stuff from that year, and I tried to do a variation of Praise You from Fatboy Slim, which his music is kind of famously an entire song from a very small number of samples. And like, okay, well, that's not hard. Here's the audio of the vocals. Here's the audio from the background. And I found all the sources. Just go ahead and piece that together. It is not as easy as it looks, because all those samples, all the timing has to match, and they all have to line up, and the tempo is different, and to slow it down. And if you ever try it, it's a lot harder. And in the way I think of it is, when you make something completely your own, you are in control of every piece, so you make it work.
Yeah.
It's a challenge to take all these pieces of other people's stuff and fit it together in a way that makes it sound like you made it. So
yeah.
In a way, you're just borrowing somebody else's work, but to make all these random things fit together in one song, if you've never tried it, is actually tremendously harder than it looks. And of course, you have people like the Beastie Boys that just make it look easy. And that's what a good professional does. They make it look easy. And then you try it and like, oh,
this is tough.
That's actually hard.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be so damn tough?
Yeah.
So probably going to go back to the regular wall next week. I just wanted to experiment with these chroma key or green screen, if you'd like. But I think that logo looks better instead of printed. But I'm going to experiment, and then in 2 weeks, I forget what the date is, but in 2 weeks on Wednesday, should be back live. And one of these times I'm going to actually have guests, like I keep saying I'm going to. There's one who I work with who every time our schedule comes out, and like, hey, are you free on Wednesday, whatever? And like, because he wants to be a guest on the show, and he's like, oh, no, I'm working that day.
Yeah.
Like, but for now, that is the show. And I'm very surprised. And thanks for watching from the Legoland. If you're wondering, this is actually the concept art for the new expansion of the Legoland Hotel at Legoland Resort, Florida. But thank you for Brandy for being here and participating in the chat, and for checking out our donuts. And hopefully you can make it to Universal before the end of Mardi Gras, and you can try one of these too, because like I said,
pretty good.
They are really good. So,
and Voodoo Doughnut in general is a good choice.
Yeah. And so far, this is the only one on the East Coast. We'll see how that expands. Yeah. And they do every once in a while a specialized donut, like they did one for Valentine's Day. And then I guess they'll have one again for Halloween Horror Nights. And I don't know, they haven't done one for St. Patrick's Day, and that's coming up pretty soon, but maybe. But for now,
bye everybody.